Hello, Alamgir. Can you hear me?
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're joining us from. I'm happy to see each and every one of us here. Um, I'm just waiting for 12 o'clock from my side so that we can start off with the section. So at this point, I just encourage us to be orderly, get friendly, get comfortable. You can have your cup of tea, drink whichever one you like to take. So we'll get started as soon as possible. Thank you for joining me. Yeah. I have a master's degree in social research from the University of Hull here in the UK. I'm originally from Nigeria, and then I'm currently residing in Hull, United Kingdom. So it's more or less like I'm also learning, like most of us who have also joined in. I'm excited to be moderating today's section. The webinar, we all know, is the first of its kind. The section is based on a Qualitative Research Series, which is initiative that was created by the research community, the Rising Scholars Research Community. So we intended this series, I'll call it, because of the response rates we got in the growing interest of people that wanted to have something like a support for qualitative research. So it's like a collaborative effort from the community so that we'll be able to help early career researchers and then practitioners as well. So today we are looking into discussing qualitative research design and the methods for data collection. The topic for today is going to be led by MD Alamgir Hossain. He's a qualitative researcher with over a decade of experience in medical anthropology and public health. His expertise includes maternal and child health, gender, mental health, and digital health as well. And then he holds MPH in epidemiology and MSc in anthropology. He's currently a researcher at International Center for Diarrheal Disease Research in Bangladesh. He leads some field work planning, trains new researchers, and contributes to project design, including data analysis and in some academic publications as well. He has over 10 journal publications, and then he's a dedicated mentor and collaborator that is focused on multidisciplinary community-centered health research. I think we'll go on to add some other qualifications along the line for him. But for now, I'd like us to have some ground rules while we proceed. Firstly, please, this is a learning space for each and every one of us, and then we have to take account of the fact that the sections are recorded. And if you're here, I think your joining in means you've given your consent for us to go on with the recording. And then we urge us to kindly mute our speakers so that we can all have an orderly space. So during the section, you can type, you can use the virtual hands, and then we have about 1 hour to 1 hour 45 minutes for the section. It's not going to be boring. It's going to be a time for us to collaborate and then have a lot to share among each and every one of us. So most importantly, I wanted us to have this in mind about qualitative research and research as in a general field. There's something, a quote that I've come across recently about Albert Einstein. It says that if we knew what it was we were doing, it would not be called research, would it? So I think it appeals to me because it makes us understand that there's a lot of things out there for us to discover, which is an essential part of research for us to test hypotheses, assumptions to also test, and then ultimately it makes us to challenge existing knowledge and of course provide facts about the things that we have seen and maybe propose further research. So I will encourage us to take advantage of the learning section and the network opportunities this section is offering. And then another important aspect I wanted to point out is try to take one or two major notes, or should I say, have two takeaway from this section. Why did I say so? I'm saying it because you're here mostly because you desire to pursue knowledge, and in pursuing the knowledge, it comes at a cost. So I know basically it's costing you your time, it's costing you your focus, and then most importantly, to cost you your money. Because if you have to use the internet or data, should I call it, you will definitely be using money. So that's why I'm pointing out the fact that we should please take one or two um, takeaway from this section. And then before I hand over to the host, I want to point out that during the question and answer section is going to be a knowledge sharing aspect whereby you are allowed to ask any question based on the topic. It doesn't have to be from the webinar. It doesn't have to be from the class because this is not a classroom. So you can ask any question, any concerns, any doubts, and then any one of the participants can raise their visual hands to answer, to contribute. The hosts or any other one that has expert in your questions will also be able to address it. So please, let's make use of our time here. So thank you very much. Enough of me. I think I've spoken so much already. I'd like us to listen to our host. Over to you, Alamgir.
Thank you, Ugo. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, then I am going to share into this session. Uh, Thank you for introducing me. There are lots of participants are joining today's session. Actually, today is we are in Bangladesh. We are approaching Eid al-Adha, and our office is closed today, and it is 5 p.m. in Bangladesh. So it is leaving time from office and also to join the vacation. However, it is part of our uh, aspiration and inspiration uh, to talk and to learn qualitative research. So definitely it's a good pleasure to me to have with you all. As last time Ugo said, there are around 115 participants are registered for this session. And I feel very much surprised to hear this. Uh, yes, actually, when I starting to work in quality research, and I also feel some thing to learn how I can do qualitative research. Though I am a graduate and postgraduate in anthropology. However, the academic session and the practical session have some differences, and through through practice we have learned lots of things. Okay, thank you everyone for joining today. I am going to share uh, our main agenda. I am going to talk today on design of qualitative research. As Gugu said, I am Mohammad Alamgir Hossain, working as a research officer, uh, working in ICDDRB. I hope some of you know about it. Those who are working in research in the field of research. Uh, okay. Before going to deep, we have to know that the main agenda of this research is that, especially in quality of research, the research paradigm, how we can decide what we uh, can come through this a conclusion, what is knowledge and what is not, and how we can come through this. And in that perspective, according to Guba, the says that the research paradigm can be characterized through their ontological, epistemological, and methodological quotient that you can get through this research paradigm. In that sense, that what is the ontology? The ontology that refers to the study of existence. It also how we determine if things exist or not. Uh, in that case, now we can say that uh, if you ask me what is the reality, uh, that can be a single reality and that can be a multipolar other reality. Someone can be agreed with me or some may not agree with me. That they are based on their context, based on their knowledge, based on their experiences. There are lots of things. If we said the if we come to this that question that does God exist or not? That is, there are two possibilities in these realities in response to this question. Yet, yes, God exists and or no, God does not exist. They exist. This means that reality is not a fixed, objective truth waiting to be discovered, but rather a dynamic process, interpretation and meaning can be making through this question. In epistemology, that refers to the theory of knowledge, especially with regards to its method, validity, and scope, and its distinction between justified beliefs and opinions. Then, what is the justified beliefs? The understanding that knowledge is acquired through a combination of observation, reflection, and through social interaction. There are three main examples or condition that epistemology, that truth, beliefs, and justification. First of all, the truth occurs when false proposition cannot be discerned. Consequently, in order to something to be considered as knowledge, it must be true as nature. And then methodology refers to the philosophical framework, how we came to this conclusion that which is knowledge, which is true or which is false. Then this philosophical framework give made that us to the research questions and method and way of data analysis. If we look at this tree, ontology is a root of that knowledge that gives us the point of view, how we look at the world, and epistemology is the main part of these trees, how we should investigate the world. Simultaneously, the methodology gives us the branch of these trees, how we should best collect the data, how we came to this, the point of view as we see in the world. And the methodology is the details of exactly how we collect the data. So then we came to this, that conclusion, there's in our uh, knowledge and ontological knowledge. The on Actually the ontology seeks the classification and explanation of entities and things. And ontology is about the objective of inquiry, what you said to examine. This also Denton and Lincoln said how you view the things are and how things really work. Then you can come. That may be outside of human control. The that maybe the universal laws can control things like gravity in physics that can control by the you can prove in the law in the lab, and like hydrogen to hydrogen and oxygen can mix the water that you can prove in a lab. But in epistemological question, we came to this the knowledge, that at first that the question is that what is the knowledge, and then how is knowledge that is acquired, and what they acquired the knowledge, and what do people know about this knowledge, how do they know what they know, is him does this knowledge is trustworthy, can or sense be trusted, and difference between opinion, knowledge, and instock. You can look at the picture of this belief, oh sorry, uh, beliefs, truth, intersection makes that knowledge based on their experiences. If you we look at the thinking flow, the scientific questions, that the what is reality in ontology, and then epistemological question is what and how can I know the reality and the knowledge? In theoretical perspective, what approach can we use to get that knowledge? So for that knowledge, how we can, what will be the procedure to use that to acquire that knowledge? And in methods, what tool can we use to acquire that knowledge? And the source, what data can we collect? It is numerical data or it is interpreted data, The kind of knowledge is that if we think ourselves that what kind of knowledge we have based on what, that maybe one can be a fact, second can be based on our ideas, that can be a probability, maybe that could be happened or not, and then third was is that is subjective knowledge that we came through this. And how can we create this knowledge? Based on measuring, what? Measuring number, or we can say measuring the number, or mm, anything, ratio, percentage, uh, chi-square, odds ratio, etc., etc. Lots of things are doing for using for measuring. And second one is observing. If we can observe something, or third one is for asking, and fourth one is for testing. That came to this, which is true or false. Came to we are going to test this one, and last one is the reasoning. There in practically there are two type of traditional research paradigm are exist. One is positivism, for another is interpretation. Positivism believes that there is a single reality which can be measured and known. Uh, as I said, that is you can say it the universal law, uh, then there have very less if impact outside or human impact, then you can measure everywhere across the world. Uh, and in interpretism believes there is no single reality or truth. So reality need to be interpreted based on their people's perspective, based on their people's experience, based on their people knowledge, based on their people's uh, uh, thinking. And so what is the positivism? Positivism mostly using in can be used in quantitative methods, quantitative studies, and that is reality governed by the context-free cause and effect relationship. We there have context-free that we all know that gravity is hydrogen and to hydrogen and on oxygen can make it water, and that there have no context is fixed. So you can prove it everywhere across the world. So, but in interpretism, there is not, which is, if we say, which is true in Bangladesh, it's not like the true in UK, USA, Africa, or Middle East, or China, or Japan, or other countries, or Australia, everywhere. But the truths, contexts are different based on their culture, societies, and their knowledge and education as well. And the scientific, the positivism also be scientific, evidence-based, and deductive knowledge, and research methods are structured, experimental, and results are quantifiable. Whether the interpreters use that is qualitative study, which is socially constructed reality, that what people are thinking that about that reality, which must be interpreted based on their experiences and knowledge influenced by multiple realities sensitive to context. The research aim to uncover the meaning of phenomena, and the role of the researcher is a co-creator of meaning and bring their own subjective experiences to the research. Methods try to capture the insider point of view of the knowledge. Uh, uh, Now, let's keep let's explore the what is qualitative research. The qualitative research is is to explore the gain and deep comprehensive understanding of social phenomena or social realities, focusing on experiences, their human perceptions, behaviors of individual within a specific context, which is you can say it a specific culture, maybe, or a specific area, a specific region, which is different to others, as I said earlier. In in-depth understanding and explore complex situation, gather rich knowns data, how people experience and interpret the world. And it focuses on meaning attached to their experiences and behavior, how people interacted with their social context. And it providing context, depth, and insight into human experiences. Look at the picture. Someone say in some context, some people may say six or no. Someone say it's actually nine. Based on that, how people things are observing on how they experiences on the six and nine, so they can come to this their own conclusion. Actually, why we are here to designing qualitative research? First, we have to know that the qualitative methods helps to explaining the factors that influence as health or disease, and that reflect the social meanings of the health and disease, and understand how individual and communities understand the health and disease. Uh, the study interpret interactions between players who are relevant to a public health issues and who are not. So that kind of methods help to get that answer. and why did it happen in that some context and why it did not happen in other context. And some of the participants are others, and how professionals are exert their power in power dynamics. Let's give an example of smoking and lung cancer. Epidemiological research has established the association between smoking and lung cancer. And qualitative methodology helps to explain the power of tobacco companies and advertising. If you look at the picture, that the the power of the conjugal life and the reflection of their romanticism reflect the young people to have maybe that creates an social meaning, and some reason why people continue to smoke despite the evidence, though it has negative impact, but they are using. So there need to be interpreted the social meaning of smoking among women and youth, how uh, they mean such kind of advertisement or to have smoking in in front of others. So this kind of uh, attitude and advertising or manism that men shows of as men look like men, manly. So this kind of social meaning may have impact. I don't know, maybe. So there have some other issues to create a social meanings. In that case, now we are going to talk about different kind of qualitative design. Uh, uh, First, the case study. There are types of qualitative research design: the case study, ethnographic study, grounded theory, phenomenological study, and participatory research. Actually, participatory research is action research. Uh, Now came to this the case study. Case study defined by individual cases, not by the method of inquiry used. A case may be simple or complex, single patient, a practice and healthcare system. The goal of the case study research is to understand the boundaries of the case and complexity of the behavior pattern of bounded system. A case study is an in-depth study of one person or group or event. In case study, nearly every aspect of subject lives and history is analyzed to check pattern and cause of behavior. Case studies can be used in many different fields, including psychology, medicine, education, anthropology, political science, and social science to understand the case. And there are a few different types of case study are exist. Maybe there are lots of other case study. I also seen that the ethnographic case study as well, though I have not included it here. Uh, we have seen that at first we have seen the retrospective case study, snapshot case studies, diachronic studies, nested studies, parallel studies. And it involves collecting data in retrospective case study. It involves collecting data related to any past phenomena that for past phenomena you can collect you can that actually used for the retrospective case study. The snapshot study, the case study, it the this case study examine the current events a day in the life of a person or a diary. Diachronic studies change over time and similar to longitudinal study. Nested studies involve a comparison of element with one case to another, and parallel studies is happening and being studied concurrently. That here you look at an example of a qualitative case study. Uh, Look, uh, can you see that the case example of case study with a positive health and happy professional, a qualitative case study? this case study are one kind of ethnographic case study. So we also at first I will discuss about the ethnographic study later, and this case study gives a comprehensive health concept among others. The concept promises to promote the satisfaction of the positive healthcare providers, the primary healthcare providers. Uh, let's come to talk about on the ethnographic studies. Ethnographic study is to studying the entire culture um, through the holistic approach to look at the different point of view. The most common ethnographic approach is participant observation as part of field research. The ethnographer become immersed in culture as an active participant and record existing extensive field notes, observations, formal and informal interviews, and recording as well, mapping, etc., etc. And there is no preset limiting of what will be the observed, and no real ending point is an though there have some time limitation as we always have, but that the classical actually these are talking about the classical ethnographic study, and that ethnographic research can be exemplified by the studies that involve living and working within a community to understand their culture, daily life, and social interactions. Ethnographers seek to gain an emic perspective or a native point of view of a specific culture. This means that they try to look at the culture under study from the inside, through the meaning that the member of that culture lived with, therefore, ethnographer about imposing conceptual and theoretical framework on empirical data at the beginning of the research process. Oh, there are different types of ethnographic study. Relational ethnography, it involves understanding on social relationship, networks, and the way people interact within the cultural settings. Digital ethnography, that this examines online communities, digital platform, and cultural practice that emerge within the virtual space. That means the digital space. And online ethnography, someone called it nethnography. This method focus on the study of online communities, social media, and digital interactions. So there have some differences between digital ethnography and online ethnography. Though sounds like quite similar, but there are two different things. Online communities, that means the communication of those who are observing or communicating online, and social media. Critical ethnography, that appears challenge for the power structure and inequalities within the culture. And in traditional ethnography focuses on objective observation and detailed description of a culture. And this is an example of ethnography in healthcare and medical education research. And there, the ethnographic sometimes uses the term, this thick description, that the point are explanation in very thick position and thick point of view, then that is uses the grounded theory. Now we are talking on the grounded theory that emphasizes the development of theory, which is grounded in data systematically collected and analyzed. Theory must be faithful to the evidence. Look for generalizable theory by making comparison across the situation, and focus on patterns of action and interaction of the participant. Moreover, uh, this also aim to develop theories based on the data collected and analysis, as I said earlier, is used to understand social process, relationship, behavior by exploring pattern and themes within the data. There are three types of classical grounded theory: classic grounded theory, Straussian grounded theory, and constructivist grounded theory. The classic grounded theories are developed through an inductive process, and researchers continuously compare and analyze the data, identify relationship to allow theories to emerge gradually. That means that time to time the data are came through you to make that point to visualize that the theory are generated. Straussian grounded theory, this focus on social process and action, aiming to understand how people interact and within the social context. Researchers use pre-existing concepts and theories as a starting point and then modify them based on the collected data. The constructive grounded theory is emphasized to understand the multiple subjective realities and perspective. Researchers actively interpreting and analyzing the data, considering their perspective and biases during theory development. And there is an example of the classic grounded theory nursing study, a qualitative systematic review protocol. Then uh, there are, sorry, now we are talking about the phenomenological study. The phenomenological studies emphasize people's subjective experiences and the interpretation of the world. Actually, in this study, phenomenologists want to understand how the world appears to world. Sometimes it is considered a philosophical perspective as well as an approach of qualitative methodology. And uh, this also interpret the people's participants may be their illness, meaning of their illness, coping mechanism, and overall quality of life. Researcher might conduct in-depth interview to understand their meaning and impact of diagnosis of their lives for the medical anthropology or health research. And there are usually two types of phenomenological study are available. Descriptive phenomenology, it describes the essence of a phenomena based on its experience of an individuals, and researchers aim to eliminate their own biases and preconception to focus on the life experiences in itself. And interpretive phenomenology to explore the meaning of significance of life experiences. Researcher may analyze the experience within a broader framework, considering cultural and social historical influences. And there is an example of a phenomenological qualitative study utilizing interpretive phenomenological analysis to explore disclosure in adolescent with Turner syndrome. Okay. Participatory research that involves inquiry but also action. It comprises a range of methodological approaches and technique. In participatory research, participants have control over the research agenda, the process, and the action. People not only discuss their problem, they also think about the possible solution to them and action that need to be taken. There are a few more some example of types of participatory research: participatory action research, participatory rural appraisal, participatory evaluation, visual and narrative methods, rapid rural appraisal. If we look at the participatory action research, this approach involves participants in addressing issue and implementing changes in their own communities. And participatory rural appraisal methods are used in rural setting to empower local communities to assess their needs, resources, and challenges. Participatory evaluation. This approach involves stakeholder in evaluation process, ensuring that the evaluation is relevant, meaningful, and used to inform decision making. Visual narratives methods like photo boys, video boys use visual and narrative approaches to collect and analyze data. And rapid rural appraisal focus on rapidly collecting and analyzing information about the rural life and socioeconomic condition. And here I like to mention that the participatory rural appraisal and rapid rural appraisal are different, as one is to empower the local communities and assess their need and resources, and rapid rural appraisal are for to understand their rural life and socioeconomic condition, which is going rapidly compared to the rural appraisal, participatory rural appraisal. And here is an example of uh, participatory action research, the facilitating health promoting ideas and actions, participatory research in an underserved Swedish residential area. Actually, the purpose of this study uh, is to collaborate with residents living in Swedish underserved areas to generate health and well-being priorities and their actions. Now, we are talking about the designing of a qualitative study. How we design a qualitative research study, a qualitative study. At first, we have to identify a problem we are going to investigate, and stating the purpose of the study based on the problem or based on the experiences that need to be explored or need to understand, and develop a conceptual or theoretical framework for the study, and formulate the research aim and objective, and select a qualitative research design, whether it is case study, ethnographic study, phenomenological study, uh, participatory rural affairs, participatory research, or anything else based on the qualitative methodological or philosophical theories. And then select a sampling strategy to establish this fields or sites of the research and selection of participant. And at, at first, you have to ensure the trustworthiness of the study, determine data collection method, and develop data collection tool, established how data will be managed and analyzed, interpretation of findings, and prepare a research report. Thank you for today. Now, actually, today's session is, I think, is more boring to you, those who are interested. Actually, in theory, in this study, we are here to share our idea came to this to conduct this study. And now, uh, thank you, everyone. Hey,
Thank you, Alamgir. We're really
Sure.
inspired, and then we've learned a lot on this slides. Thank you so much for this. At this point, I have Benga Elufia. Yeah, I think he's just raised his hand. I think he has some question. Please go on, Benga. You can unmute yourself, please. Go on.
All right. Thank you so much. That was a very great presentation, and I appreciate um, this platform for giving us the opportunity. My name is Benga Eluviso. I'm a doctoral student and a sociologist. So you talked about ethnography. I'm actually a qualitative researcher. So you talked about ethnography, and you specifically mentioned online ethnography and digital ethnography. You said they look, I mean, they are similar, but then they are different. So can you please explain the difference in clear terms and probably give us context, like contextual example? Thank you. And one more thing, I'm also, my research focuses on rurality. And I know you talked about participatory research, which is some of the things that I also do. I would like you to please explain a little more on the two types of participatory rural approaches. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Alamki, have you got the question?
Yes,
All right.
yes, I got that question and come to this. Okay. Actually, though those ethnography and digital ethnography are conducted in uh, a digital field or on online communities. Digital ethnography broadly studies online interaction and culture. Online interaction uh, may you can say to 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 to, to communicate through the online. If I can observe your behavior. We can communicate through online, such as um, uh, to observing human behavior through online, like we are participate in the online session. Then we can observe our behavior, interaction, and through and then we are coming to this some formal and informal communication. And uh, it online participant and the on in digital platform. In if I give you an example, in previously and going to conduct a digital ethnographic study, though it is yet not published, or yeah, I just working on this. Then I worked to my objective was to track the pregnancy tracker apps, to collect the data from the user-centric data. The user gave the feedback in their online platform, such as reviewer feedback. Then we we look at this, the how they react. Some give that feedback, some reaction, some they shows laugh, some shows laugh, some shows angry, and that point of reaction, that kind of. So, and based on the review that this communication, then we come to this, make that communicate through this email, then to conduct this interview to understand more deeper. However, in netography, uh, actually, though it is also using the interaction, and it also have some observation as well, but it is not relevant to that uh, from a uh, that there have the online interaction, that means in social media based interaction, that can or give them uh, another emphasis on this through interaction through such as like messaging or texting to others or in digital platform to learn and communicate with other within informal and informal session, in informal interaction. That could be another use.
Thank you so much for the explanation. I think my second question goes to the participatory rural approaches. Like, I think you talked about two different approaches in participatory research.
Okay. Okay. Participatory rural appraisal and rapid rural appraisal. The main differences is that participatory rural appraisal that conducted through the to give the ownership of the participant in rural areas where we are going to conduct the study, then they can make their decision, their social status by their own. And rapid rural appraisal, you are going to measure through this some characteristics and their socio-economic condition by your own. I hope that is the best two differences between these.
Great. Thank you so much for the explanation. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll be taking the question from Malobika Roots. I hope I'm right with the name. She wants to know about said how many samples can be considered in case study. That's the first question. How many samples can be considered in a case study? Yeah.
Actually, a single case can be a case study. There are actually no sample are needed for the case study. If look, if you mm, going to understand you to conduct a case study, then if a single case or single person can be a case for you study to understand to actually case study to understand the individual or anyone in a deep to understand their context, their facts, their changes, and the reason of that changes. It not only a person, it can be an institute or organization. It a single uh, um, the organization can be a part of this case study. So there are no need to be a number of sample size. Though some types of study may use, because if you look at the as I said, that nested studies involve comparison of element with one case to another. So there have some cases, maybe one one compared to one with another, and that may be one or two. So there are not much case to come to this conclusion. If you think that you have to need some cases, one or two, if you conducted a case study on a institute, then you have to uh, observe and you have to understand all the no, not all the few of the uh, official procedure or working way out, how they their pattern of behavior, then That's it.
Yeah, thank you. I think that's a well and structured answer for that, because I understand that there is no definite answer when it comes to a case study. It's as long as there is one case in the study, that's a case study. So is one to a maximum of any, as long as the researcher is able to manage the study. And then in the particular research objective or research question that has been stated for that research. And then I'm sorry if I think the name, I'm not very certain if it's a he or she, but then they also want to find out for any query how to clarify doubts. I think this question has to do with in any question or in any research, how can they clarify doubts? I think Malo Bika, am I getting the question right? Because I think that's what I understand, that you want to find out how to clarify doubts about a research. Yes, please, Alamgir, go on.
Thank you. Uh, I need to know based on what the question is came from. Okay. If we come to this the research paradigm, the ontological questions, then how we can clarify the doubt. Then to clarify the doubt, then if you are came to this the interpretism, then you can ask why they are behave like this. For example, during COVID, uh, some people affected COVID, some may not. Then why some people are affected COVID? Those who are COVID victim. Then we supposed to know, well, maybe somewhere then they are going to do the interaction with that COVID positive person. Maybe. Then if we came to this conclusion, then you have to ask the patient of those who were victim of this, then how he became to this infection. So to proper clarification in interpretism, we have to ask to that question to those who experiences on these matters or on these issues. Then that would be good for us to get true meaning. And then if the COVID positive person, for example, this COVID person can give his example experiences, then how he become on this. That would be the true meaning to ensure that to avert the doubts.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for that. There's another question. Before I can see Tano, Linus, your hands are raised, but please let's take the question of Patrick Falantwa. My apologies. I hope I got that right. The question is, what is the difference between research theories and theoretical frameworks? Yes, please, Alamgir.
Actually, theory give you the idea, and the framework give you that the route, how you reach that position, or give there have some multiple ways to reach that point, but the following this theory is give you that the direction, and the theoretical framework give that direction in detail how to reach that. I think it may be clear to you, or need more explanation.
Yeah, I think Patrick you can provide the if you're cleared with the question on the message, or you can put your virtual hand to respond to that. Alamgir has given a response. I don't know if you need more clarity on that. At this point, I think Tan or Linus, and could you go ahead with your question, please? Can you unmute yourself and then go on with the question? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm Linus Tano. I'm actually an associate professor of research methodology. Mine is not so much of a question, but just to thank the organizers of the program and the presenter. He has done a very good job, a very good job. He has really captured a lot of the issues. Just one or two inputs regarding the section on the research paradigms, which basically deals with research philosophy. Apart from the ontological epistemology and then the methodological component, there is also the aspect of axiology, which basically deals with issues of value. And that axiological component of research paradigm is very important, particularly within the section of qualitative research, where the researcher is largely involved. I mean, in terms of detachment from the research process becomes very difficult. Yeah, so just adding the component of axiology to the issues of epistemology, ontology, and then the methodology. I think there was a question, I'm sure maybe because of time, and I want to assume that maybe in your next section, you would want to also capture the issues of pragmatism, where you try to integrate both the positivism and interpretivism. And I think that there has been a lot of challenge for particularly early researchers, how to really triangulate both qualitative and then the quantitative, particularly within the issue of exploratory sequential. So maybe in your future editions, you could look at that as well. Then I think there was a question on issues of sample sizing directly in terms of case studies. I think grounded theory is able to handle issues of sample size a lot, particularly when it comes to data saturation and theoretical sampling. But in all, I just want to thank the organizers and the presenter. He has done a very good job.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah.
Actually, I came to the thing considering this the research paradigm to discuss today as the how the knowledge actually came. We are came to this conclusion that how we gather that knowledge for this perspective. Okay, thank you for your advice.
Right. Thank you so much, Tanu, for your best wishes. And then we have a question from, I think, Benjamin Osaro, yeah? Wants to find out, is there a method of determining the sample size in the other type of qualitative studies? Is there a method of determining the sample size in the other type of qualitative studies? I'm not sure the other type this implies to. I don't know if there's a clarity or he needs to give more clarity on this, but Alamgir, I don't know if you understand the question the way I just explained.
Actually, in qualitative research, based on my experiences and based on my knowledge, based on my exploration on article and books, I didn't find any fixed method to calculate the sample size as like in quantitative research. It is based on your research objective and research design. How you can can going to explore or going to understand in your qualitative study. That will that can be helps to determine how many sample you are going to. If you conduct a case study, then you have to find a true case. Then you can conduct a that study of these individuals. That can be for your sample size, single one. And if you can go phenomenological or any uh, grounded theory, then you can choose based on your objective to multiple types of the study participants uh, within your research interest. Like, for example, if you're going to conduct a study on HIV positives, for example, then who are the risk people? You have to come to this conclusion. Maybe those who have that risks for this risk behavior. So from this, you have to come to select one or two different background, different socioeconomic background, socioeconomic background, educational background, gender, and to understand their perspective. You can take one or two. In that case, you have to be more selective to choose the study participant as the one quality the study participant should have, that he can explain his own self. That is very important to select a study participant. Number is not matter in qualitative research, but matter is that to select a right person who can explain himself and why he did like this and why he did don't do this. This kind of explanation that came to this conclusion of your research. So in my practical experiences, I don't think the sample size is matter for quality research, but that is I experiencing that to find a true study participant who can explain himself. Thank you.
Yeah, I think thank you so much. I think to add to that, because he put up another question apart from case studies, you did a lot of elaboration on that, and that's a good detailed explanation. I think something I would like to add is when it comes to quantitative studies, usually there are tools or methods to determine the sample size based on the population. But when it comes to a qualitative study, the difference is that quantitative deals with numbers and then kind patterns, but qualitative study deals in depth. It explores some behavior and then sometimes health. So in this case, Benjamin, you're looking at the number that you can actually contain, the number that you'll be able to manage. Now, I haven't come across a method to determine a sample size in a qualitative study because, I've used focus group in collecting my studies, focus group discussions, interviews, and then sometimes documentary review, and you have some secondary data that you're reviewing. Now, in this case, you are dealing with the content, the meanings from everyone's experiences. Therefore, you're trying to understand patterns to explore their perspective. So if you are not able to get a manageable sample size, I think that's when the study starts looking very tedious. So in a qualitative study, is mostly about the behavior, the health issues, the socio-ecological environment that you're dealing with, mostly, not just about the quantity or the size of the people involved. And in most qualitative studies, researchers tend to have a manageable size, because sometimes the data is so wide that you're a bit confused, especially an early career researcher. So I don't know if that has cleared your question. So thank you, Alamgir. I have another question from Samuel Oniat. He says, what would be your take on the appropriateness of a qualitative case-based study to explain causality? So Alamgir, please. And if okay, yeah, we have Benga again, but first let's just have a take on Samuel on Niad's question. Did you get the question, please?
Causality. So, I don't think so. To causality, for causality, to understand the causality, we can use single case cannot be explained the causality. May not be maybe explain the causality, but it would not be the trustworthy worthiness to all. At first, you have to need to explain what affects what issues affects what. Then you came to this question, came to this conclusion. Then if took is without number, that is a single case can be very difficult. But it can be case-based study that can explain the narrative point of view, the behavioral pattern, the social cultural point of view, context. But I don't think that is not appropriate from my side, from my understanding, to explain the causality.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Anyone in the audience, any participant that has an experience too in any of the questions can please also contribute. This is a knowledge sharing environment, and we urge us to please maximize the time here to be able to help each and every one of us out, because this is a learning, a collaborative and a networking environment whereby we are trying to clear our doubts as well as bring out a little bit of our experiences or perspective as qualitative researchers. So thank you so much, Alamgir. And I have, okay, Benga, yes. Benga has his hands raised. Benga, please go ahead. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Going back to Benjamin's question, I have something that I can add to what the presenter and the moderator have said. Those were very great responses. One thing I would also want to add to it, and then I will share maybe a particular experience, is the fact that when you are, it depends on the kind of research you are doing, the people, your participants, because in some cases you have population that it will be very difficult for you to get large number of people. So in that case, you are just restricted in a way that you are not particularly looking at number, but what you are going to get out from the very minute number of people that you can get. So As far as qualitative research, I don't think number really matters, but the depth of information that you are able to get from the participant, which the two speakers earlier have actually highlighted. I also want to, just because the moderator talked about focus groups, I want to talk about my experience in focus group and what I've learned so far. There was a time I have read that you have minimum of 6 and maximum of 12 based on literature as far as participation. But I conducted a study that I went to the field with that knowledge, but on getting to the field, it was difficult for me to get that number. At first, I got 6. And then as at when the research, when the interview was about to start, one of them pulled out. By the rule that I have read from the literature, I should not have proceeded with that research. But I ended up doing it because I had traveled and then I had 5 participants. So when I reached out to my senior professor, he said that was the best thing that you have done. All you just have to do is report that write that in your report. So then later when I started my PhD program, I took a class in focus groups, and then they started talking about how focus group could be conducted between 2 people. That amazed me. So that's the flexibility that comes with qualitative research. And if you look at people that are doing qualitative research in fields that are not academic, especially the UX research of these days, you realize that this context of maybe 2 people, 3 people, they don't have that large number of people to look at when it comes to focus groups for them. They largely look at between 2 to 4 because they believe that you can hardly have people, you can actually hardly get people to be on the same page with time at the same time. So those are the complexities that come with numbers and recruitment of participants in qualitative study. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, it made me remember a time during my master's, I had a focus group to coordinate. I was to have seven participants, and we ended up being just 2 participants and myself. And then at the end, I asked my lecturer, we only ended up with 2. What do we do? And then we were advised to go on and analyze the data based on the information we had already collected. And that was what we used. So I also have an interview that we expected at least 5 people. You know, most times in qualitative research and every other research as well, there is always an issue with recruitment of participants. And then remember that your main focus is the content, that is the in-depth exploration of the content that you have gotten from that study, not necessarily the number of people. And then you have to report according to the size that you were able to recruit. And then if perhaps during the study, 1 or 2 participants were not able to go ahead with the study, you also have to make that report. That's the reliability and validity position you're trying to ensure in that study. So thank you so much, Benga. I think we have another Emmanuel Afunwa. Yeah, the question is how do you ensure rigor in qualitative research? I think that's what's on the screen. Yeah, please go on. Thank you.
Thank you. Though we are, I think we are talking about some rigor today, maybe or not. Anyway, this is mainly part of the research method part. I think we will discuss in our second session. However, for your information that the we are mm, to ensure the data trustworthiness, we have uh, to we are doing some uh, we are following some issues like is data triangulation and reflexibility of the data, uh, and the positioning of the researcher and the institution. So, to ensure the rigor, we are using the triangulation. Triangulation first. Triangulation could be the theory. Among the theory, you are going to, if the study design is grounded theory, then you have the preset of theory, to you are going to prove based on your data. The, the researcher triangulation, data triangulation, methodology triangulation, and the investigator. I am not a single person going to conduct the study. We have a team. So all of the team members are like to check the data came from the interview to understand, to come to this conclusion that actually what I understand about the meaning of the data, for example, Ugu also can come to this, okay, yes, this meaning also seems like to me. Then this also gives us the investigator level, researcher level point of view that okay, this data is true. And then if you come to this methodological triangulation, if you are going to observe, you are going to conduct in-depth interview, going to conduct key informant interview, focus group discussion, as Gubanga also said. So this kind of methodology gives also give you that proven to that this data is also gives some that meaning. And I also said that theory, investigator, methodology, and based on this triangulation, we can ensure the rigor and positioning. Also, the positioning also issue the reflexive position of the researcher. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. There was a comment from Ozioma Prince Mugodo, yeah, which is also talking about rigor in research. Yeah, so this mentions 3 pillars: meticulous planning, continuous reflection, researchers' reflexivity, and the transparent communication with your audience about both the studies process and its findings. So it all boils down to the same thing we are talking about, and that's exactly the points you've pointed out in Alamgir. Thank you so much, and then thank you, Uzioma, for that contribution. And then Benjamin also has made some comments, says, my take is that one can reach saturation points even with 2 participants. Yeah, that's true. With 2 participants in a qualitative studies. Yeah.
It's
All right.
depend on your study design. It's depend.
Exactly. The study
Not
design.
necessarily.
Yeah.
If you look, if you going to conduct a quiz study, then you can going to, if sorry, don't take me wrong, that I am said that the 2 participant can be in all studies. It's if you are going to conduct it into ethnographic study, then it can be a institution. You can also be conducted in ethnographic study as a whole population. You are coming uh, regularly to that in a organization from till morning to night, how they behave, how they interact, how they are talking. Then you can make some point, and based on this you can also conduct in ethnography in a rural people. So the area, if for ethnographic study, anyone can be your research participant, all of you study participant. So there is not number. Everyone is your study participant. So there may be, if in a village can be if in a specific area there may be 6,000 people or 10,000 people, and everyone can be in your study participant. So we cannot say that 10,000 participant is my study participant. In that case, we are focusing that in that area we are selecting and give some the description that their diagram, their basic information that the area is length, weight, the is dash square kilometers, or the population number is dash. That means there's this number of, it can be 5,000 or 15,000 maybe. So when you are going to conducting this ethnographic study, then you have to observe how, when in this people, how they interact with each other, when morning till night, how, where they are going, when they are back, how their children react, how the people are react, their behavioral pattern. So, but qualitative study, the number is very limited, and you have to focus on the very deep information. The information have to be wide, not a number based study. We are not going to every 10,000 people or every 5,000 people or 10,000 people. We are going to select. If we, for example, I am going to conduct the ethnographic study in a specific area, then in the morning I have to meet a state vigil, for example. Then I have to see her how they came to this his state, how they take his position for state for begging, and if you and how the officials are moving to their office, or moving with how their mobility, when where they are mostly going for healthcare, for mostly where they are going for their religious purpose, when they are going to their educational purpose. There are lots of issues you are going to come to this. So number is not a concrete, but the number could be a more even we are thinking in quantitative research, but we have to conduct and communicate very precise and very specific limited number of participants for formal and informal conversation or interview to get deep into their their behavior and their lives. Hope I can make you understand.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that was clearly explained, and I hope he understands as well, because the saturation level, even according to Kinyanjui Waura, the explanation I'm seeing here also is about the type of research. And then most cases in qualitative research, it's not that is advised against, but the fact that you're not looking at the number at this point, your major target is the behavior, the basic aim of that research, not necessarily the number of people, because the number of ideas, the number of maybe study of animals or plants or something, but the idea you're getting from that, the data is like the idea, the meaning you're getting from that, because it judges your position, your positionality as a researcher, because at this point, you're making some reflections, you're making some notes, some observations, and then you're not being judgmental. So most of all these things they come together in your report. So when your target is on numbers, I'm not very particular if you're looking at qualitative research, because sometimes it could get to that saturation point, especially when you've had enough of data already, which you have collected based on the particular study method that you're looking into. Yeah, thank you. I don't know if Kinyandri, if you need this as a question, because you've noted that however, we are guided by the sample 6+, which is we are guided to the sample, that sample 6+ is determined by the type of research and the point of achieving thematic saturation. I stand ready to be guided. I don't know if the explanation so far has guided you or you need some clarity, but thank you. Thank you so much for that. Yeah.
The guided does mean your supervisor guided or your research, your theory guided. I don't actually didn't understand clearly. However, in my practical experiences, I have seen 10 to 45 study participants for phenomenological study. I have read it, and if you say in practically, I have conducted around 20 in-depth interview to reach my objective based on the different background characteristics of the study participant, and I try to make at least 2 or 3 study participants for similar background, because everyone has his own perspective. That similar background, 3 different location, different culture. Study participant gives me the same positionality to give them look, the same economical background, same educational background, might be give me their same point of view. At least 2 or 3 would be better to, if someone may not say that luck by chance. Okay.
Yeah, thank you. I think we have barely 10 minutes to the roundup time. So I don't know if anyone has something else to contribute, a question, a concern, an experience to share from the participants, please. This is an open space. We are trying to get as much to the point where you need to be clarified to move on with your career goals. So we are at that point where we need experiences, because in most research
Ogo,
experience guides
Ogo,
as well.
just give me a second. I just muted my video. I'm in online through my call. So I will answer if I need.
All right, I understand. Thank you so much. We have a question. I think Malobika wants to know, bias in qualitative research comes often. How to ensure I'm not biased in my interpretation? This question is basically for you to learn how to be an objective researcher. Now, it speaks a lot about positionality in research. Now, more or less like the positionality here comes in like you as a person before you go into the field as a researcher, what are your expectations, or what's from your background, what do you already have in mind, or the information you already have about this topic or about this population or this area that you're going into. So naturally, there's something called unconscious bias. Everyone has unconscious bias within themselves. But when you are going in as a researcher, you're going in with the mindset that you're going to be objective. What you're going in to see, what you had in mind, or your foreknowledge about the research environment or the research topic may not be what you're seeing. But in that case, you're trying to clear your doubts. Let me give you an instance. I started a study in exclusive breastfeeding, and as a mother, I haven't done anything about exclusive breastfeeding. In fact, for a fact, I did the integrative review on the exclusive breastfeeding practices and challenges in Nigeria within mothers. And my first bias or my mindset in that study was to dispute the fact that in my thinking, it wasn't necessary. Now, that was my bias. It's understandable. Now, when I started this research, I looked into getting at least 10 to 20 literatures, which at the end of the day, I ended up with 21 literatures. I did the review in such a way that it was between quantitative and qualitative research. That is, I had some case study, I had some, interviews, I had questionnaires. Yeah, these are some of the literatures I had to review. Now, I think this the data I collected came to give me this idea in my interpretation that I wasn't objective in the first place. So this is the report that I have gotten. So I think it's natural to have a bias, but you need to work based on the interpretation of your findings. They have findings normally. Now, these findings are obviously different from what you had in mind. So naturally, you have a bias as a human being, at least to the extent that you've grown, you have a bias. But then your interpretation is based on what you find. So that's the facts that you're giving as your evidence. The interpretation is not still based on your bias, because at this point, when you would have gone through the rigor of the study, you would have got some objective understanding of why you intended to start the study in the first place. So that's why when you create research questions, it gives you the idea of what you're looking into, and then you don't have to go about searching for basically everything so that you don't lose your focus in the study. So I don't know if this has explained your question about research bias. So Alamgir, I don't know if you have anything to add to this, please.
Okay, thank you. You are quite clearly explained about it biases. Actually, in qualitative research, we are not use this term biases, and we are we are confirming that how we came to this conclusion based on what. Look, in previously I talking about you, we are confirming based on our triangulation. What kind of triangulation? Methodological triangulation, based on our observation, based on our interview, based on our focus group discussion, based on our key informant interview. That interpretation are need to, which is individual can explain, and then the that explanation that come through this the community perspective also, focus group discussion and the key informant interview. So data also gives you some similar kinds of meaning, then you have to come out this through your observation. What you are observing, what is the meaning to you? You get the meaning of your community, get the meaning of the individuals who have experiences that something, and then you also experience it. So came together, you are came to this together. Then came to this your uh, investigators. What they are meaning on this, your observation, uh, individual's observation, community perspective, and the informative perspective. So this all came together to give you a true meaning. That is, in some case, you can see this, the uh, as I said, show you that the 6 and 9. Some maybe can see this 6, and some maybe can see this 9. But based on when they are observing it is 6 and when it is observing that it is 9, that point of view, you have to come to this point that you are going to bias free based on this your methodological triangulation, your investigator triangulation. What is I am thinking this is actually meaning that, and Ogo maybe saying he have that the other explanation, then he have another meaning, then another one have that. So this discussion helps to come to this conclusion and actual true meanings. And if needed, if you think that we are not actually properly come to this conclusion, then you can also come ask the study participant who have you are conducting that interview. Then we are come to this conclusion. What about your explanation? Am I right or no? That is the another way of to avoid it, this kind of argument, but we are not using that. Actually, we are in qualitative research. We are came to this the fact based on through this way.
All right, thank you. I think we are running out of time. We have a question from Abdus. Abdus, your question is about thematic coding or qualitative research. I think that's part of one of the ideas we're talking about in the next section with Alamgir. It's talking about I think analysis. So we may not be able to handle that, I'm afraid now, but we will discuss more on the WhatsApp group. And then I don't know if you've been able to join the WhatsApp group, but then we are very happy and excited about all our contributions. I don't know if Ashta, you want to add anything about the section or something regarding Rising Scholar. Please go on. Thank you for being here. Thank you.
Thank you so much for organizing this. First of all, thank you so much, Ugo, for taking this initiative, and thank you so much, Amalgir, for being such an amazing facilitator. I myself am a very much of research enthusiast, so I got to learn a lot of new things. And I would also like to thank all of our participants for, you know, asking so many questions. And when we get when we get questions like this, we know that the session is going really well because people are getting questioned right. And Rising Scholar is very happy because we want Rising Scholar to be exactly like this. Our community members who are all over the global south, all over the world, coming together organizing programs for themselves by identifying their own need. And our team is like super thrilled about overall happenings here. And I am very, very pleased to say that this is one of the best webinars we have had in this year. Thank you so much for organizing this with a very good facilitator. Maybe we can have you on board at other times also, so that because the queries do not stop here, right? People keep on asking question, and I have questions myself that I'm gonna go after this Zoom and ask ChatGPT or read some resources on the internet or my book. So yeah, I hope we could make this series a very huge celebration and learning thing.
Yeah.
And I'd like to request, if everybody is all right, for the sake of the keeping it as a memory, we take a picture. And then maybe, like, because this is the first webinar of the series, and if if everyone is fine, we can take picture. Um, okay, so I think we need to stop sharing the screen.
Yeah.
And I would also like to share your ways to stay connected with Rising Scholar. Give me a minute. We have like multiple things coming up. So we have Instagram, we have Facebook, we have LinkedIn, we have YouTube, which is a hub of all the webinars, the Tea Time with Rising Scholars that we have had in the past. And you can find a lot of important video series there. So check it out. We are currently running massive open online course on engaged research for community and social impact. It has started yesterday, but you do have some time to register. So if you are interested, please do register. I am very fond of the curriculum of this MOOC. It is very nice. And this Friday, we are having Tea Time with Rising Scholars on theme Bridging Financial Gaps in Scholarly Community, where we'll be talking about finances and all the constraint that we scholars from the Global South tend to face when we are in our scholarly journey, be it when you are studying or when you are wanting to publish in high-end journals. There is always this constraint and how to manage it. So basically, Tea Time with Rising Scholar is where we come together and we have this conversation and we teach each other what we know, we learn from each other. So it is not one-sided lecture or webinar, it is something else. You come with your favorite drink and you just chill and talk. So join us this Friday, and um, not next Friday, but other Friday, we have a Tea Time with Rising Scholar on climate change and health and how to do research and build evidence around this and what is happening in the world regarding this. So I think you might be interested in these events happening. And I enjoy this very, very much because a lot of conversations are new and new perspective are coming in. Ugo, I think we need to stop sharing the screen to take a picture.
Yeah. Alamgir, can you turn off the screen, please? Can you take off the screen sharing? Alamgir, can you hear me?
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
I think you've forgotten. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
Okay,
so
yeah.
yes,
so
I will take a
Skinner said,
picture.
sorry,
Yes, please.
till the Skinner are sharing from till now.
Okay. It's better now. Yeah, it's all right.
It's not sharing right
Sorry.
now.
Yeah,
No, it's
it's
all
not
right.
sharing. Yeah.
And I know a lot of you want to host sessions like this with us. We have some slots left for this year also. So if you are interested in hosting one of these sessions, Tea Time with Rising Scholar or question and answer session, or just webinar, contact me, email me at I will drop my email here, asta.subedi@inaps.info, and we can set something up this year or next year, and you can not just share your learnings, but also hone your skill. Like we learn as we do things. So that is also one of the objective of doing this. So please let me know. And I talked a lot, so I'll take a picture. Yes, everybody, please do smile.
Yeah.
And okay, so maybe something fun poses, anything. Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ugo, and thank you, Alamgir, for being very good host and for teaching us so many things. We look forward to having you in the upcoming days too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Also,
Yeah.
for
Ugo is
giving me that
hosting one of the
opportunity.
sessions with us very soon. I will be sharing about that pretty soon. Watch out for that also. So he's a
Yeah.
good moderator. And I'm very, very hopeful that you are also a very best facilitator. So I'm personally looking for the session.
I am hoping for that too. Thank you. And thank you for this opportunity. Yeah. It's been nice. And it's been an exciting experience today. Thank you all for joining. Thank you, Ashta, once again. All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
And
everyone.
please,
Yeah,
share
thank
recording
you.
with us so that we can upload it on our YouTube, okay?
Oh, definitely. I will do that. Yeah.
Thank you so
All
much.
right.
Bye,
Yeah.
everybody. See
Bye,
you this
everyone.
Friday.
Bye. See
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye.